Thank you, Billy and Andrea and Lindsay. Thank you so much. I think it's because you're off to the side that, it's like, yeah. So good morning, everyone. This week we are celebrating love. Valentine's Day is on Friday, but we're not celebrating it in the traditional way. We're going to celebrate self-love, okay? Sound good? Okay. In honor of self-love and our message this morning, the body is not an apology, and our Gourmets for God event, which honors and celebrates the evolution of consciousness of our next generation, I want to invite up someone who has been a member of this community for over 10 years and who demonstrates the principles of the science of mind in such a way that I know ripples and affects all those around her. And so to share her experience and her wisdom with us, I'd like to invite up Kimmy.
Hello. Hi. So it's kind of hard to sum up the experience of camp in just a couple of words, but I'll do my best. So camp is an experience. I'll just say that from the beginning. You are thrown into a room with 100 people, and if you're lucky, maybe 6 of them. And from the very beginning, you're like, I don't know anyone. I don't know how I'm going to start off with all of these strangers, and then by the end, you're best friends with everyone. And it's terrifying. From the start, it's so terrifying. And there's 2 workshops that we did over these 3 days that really stuck out to me. One was we were separated into A's and B's, and they had the A's go in the middle. We switched off, and the A's went in the middle, and the B's went on the outside, and they stood in the center, and they closed their eyes, and we just stood there. And the B's went in and hugged them. And at the very beginning, the B's were kind of weird, and we didn't want to touch each other because they were strangers. And at the very end, we did the exact same one on the very last day, and everyone was so sad. And because we didn't want to leave. We were all best friends. We all knew each other really well. And it was friendships that will last forever. We will see each other twice a year, and we come from all over. It's a really unique experience. You don't really get this experience anywhere else in life, maybe school, maybe work, but you get those over years. This happens over a weekend, maybe a week. And so it's special. It's these special bonds that you build with these people around your age. And it's taught me that you need to cherish the people around you. And the other workshop we did was you had these jars, and we wrote down goals that we want to have for the new year, and we put dirt in them, and then we told each other what our goals were. And then we told each other these, and we supported each other. They were like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And then we put them in, and we said a prayer for the goals that we want to set, and we just continued to support each other no matter what, because everybody is so important. And we have these jars, and we will always remember each other's goals to continue, and these plants will grow with us and with the other people. And you have to cherish the people around you, and you have to be confident in yourself, and that's what camp teaches you. And I'm so excited to go back to camp in the following years, and I'm sorry to myself that I didn't go in past years, because these people are so special, and I'm so excited to go. It's such a special experience. So I'm really excited.
Thank you, Kimmy. That was beautiful. Thank you. It really is an experience. And it's interesting because we as adults, a lot of times we step into our spiritual journey by maybe somebody recommending a book or somebody recommending a lecture or something like that. And they step into their spirituality like all out. 2 workshops a day for 7 days in a row, and it's like, it's like definitely an intensive experience, and it's all very, it's all very in action, not just in theory, not just in our mind, but they're actually practicing it, and so it's really great. It's a beautiful thing to see people healing in that way. And so this morning, our body is not an apology. What the heck does that mean? How many of you here really feel and believe that you are a creation of some sort of a divine intelligence, of a higher power? Okay, yeah. And how many of you here have ever felt like, oh, look at all those wrinkles on my face, or, oh my gosh, I gained 5 pounds, or, oh, nobody? Oh, okay. So there's like this gap, right? Because if we were talking to the divine, I'm speaking like it's outside of us, but if we're talking about this great good, this great spirit, this thing that I call God, and we say to it, oh my gosh, look at all the wrinkles you have, or oh my gosh, you got a gray hair, like it just, it just doesn't work. It doesn't feel good, right? I know that for myself, I can feel like an apology isn't really like saying I'm sorry, right? We're not saying we're sorry. It's a atmosphere about us. And I know that I can embody that. I know many people embody this atmosphere of being an apology for who we are or for how we show up. Like maybe we have shame inside of us. Like maybe we don't feel worthy of joy or love, or especially self-love. And so we live in this apologetic energy of not good enough, of I'm sorry, of I could be more, I could be better, I should be more, I should be better, I should be thinner, I should be blonder, I should be taller, I should be whatever, right? Whatever the media is trying to tell us, or whomever. Maybe when we were little, our parents or our friends at school thought that our nose was too big, or our whatever, right? My feet are extremely big for my height, okay? I wear a 12, so, do I apologize for that? Maybe I have in the past, I don't know. But it's just not necessary, because the truth is that we are vehicles, right? We are the way that the universe experiences itself, right? And like I've talked about it many times, this symbol is our teaching symbol. It's all spirit, and here's body, right? We are the outpicturing. We are the bottom of the V. We are spirit in form. And so there's no need for apology, and there's only need for self-love. There's only need for self-love. We must become not selfish, but self-centered. Self-centered. Finding that center within us that is that flame, that flicker of light that can grow and grow and grow, because when we let that light grow within us, we're saying to each other, it's okay. I'm going to let my light shine, and you get to let yours. Because I know that I am beautiful, and I know that you are beautiful. Maybe you could know that you're beautiful too. Hey, that reminds me of a Ricky Byers song. What is it? I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so much. Anyway, so you can love you so much, so much. Anyway. What did you say? Come on Saturday. Yeah, come on Saturday. Right. Where the heck was I? Okay, so a lot of times we live in this culture where we want to apologize, or we want to shrink ourselves. And then when you think about it, I know Reverend Dr. Peggy Price is here. And for me, she's kind of like the guru on all things interfaith. So I don't know why, but it just reminded me of her when I was thinking about this. In Judaism, in Christianity, in Islam, in all varieties, not all varieties, but many varieties of Hindu and Buddhism, they recognize the greatness of the body and use it to commune with the divine. So in Genesis, in the Hebrew scriptures, it says that we are made in the image and likeness. And many Christian artists, who are they? You know, the Ninja Turtles, Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, they created these beautiful pictures of the human body and just the divinity of it. And in the Islamic mysticism called Sufism, they like to twirl. They twirl and twirl and twirl their physical bodies until they feel this experience, this oneness with the divine. And in Buddhism, a lot of times there is a lot of bowing. It's an act of surrender. In many cultures, or even here, we clap, right? We're using our physical body to clap when we're listening to music. Some people use incense, anything that triggers a sensory experience using this physical vehicle to allow us to embody the divine, to feel it, to know that it is in us and that we are within it. There's this story about self-love that I heard recently from a woman. Her name was, what was her name? Sharon. Sorry, she's 27. She was from South Carolina, and she was talking about how her mom would always tell her these stories about her grandmother because she never got to meet her grandmother. And her grandmother worked all the time, 12 hours a day. She worked as a maid, she worked in the cafeteria as a manager, and as soon as she got home, she would fall asleep. She had 6 kids she had to feed, and she just worked and worked and worked until she had a heart attack at work, and then she passed away. And so whenever her mom tells her these stories about her grandmother, what it does is it triggers her and it reminded her that, wait a second, no matter what my responsibilities are, no matter what the experiences are in my life, no matter how much money I might owe or what I might need to get done, the first and most important thing is that I take care of myself. The first and most important thing is that I take care of myself. I see so many of you who are so thoughtful and selfless, and you give so much of yourself, so much of your time and energy to others. And I wonder, how often are you listening to yourself, to your own body, and what it's trying to tell you, how it's trying to love you? You know, we've got these 3 brains in our body, right? We've got the head brain, we've talked about this before, the heart brain and the gut brain, and they all have neurons and they all communicate. There's this complete intelligence that's moving through it all, right? The gut holds most of our serotonin, which gives us the neurotransmitters so that we feel happy and content, and our heart knows things before they actually happen, and they send signals to our brain. I mean, it's just so intelligent. And so I want to just invite us to take a moment and experience this. Just close our eyes for a moment. Just close our eyes and feel. Kind of like what our practitioner Pam said, to just kind of do a body scan. But what I want to invite you to do is really feel into and think about some of the times when you didn't listen to your body. When it was trying and trying and trying to tell you that it needed to rest, that relationship just wasn't working, that the pain needed to be addressed. And think about when you ignored it and you kept on. And in this space, I want to read to you something. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long, deep breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. Just be in that for a moment. Repeat that to yourself. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. And the body, it took a long, deep breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. Just listen. You can open your eyes if you'd like. Practicing this listening, it can help us by so many things. It can help us by coming into tune, coming into hearing and listening, and into alignment with what we might be really desiring. Have you ever heard about the idea that when your body is in physical pain somewhere, if you put your attention to it and you absorb it with light, that the pain begins to dissolve? Have you ever stubbed your toe or hit your funny bone and you grabbed it? Or you had a really bad toothache and you held it? The body has such powerful, energetic healing that it knows what to do. It knows to take care of itself. It knows to hold on to itself. And it's up to us to listen to that, to practice listening. And we get so distracted because our hearts are so big that they want to take care of and help everyone else. We really can't help everyone else until we help ourselves, until we really, really love ourselves. And this thing called the ego, which many people think is like the villain of self-help, right? It's that arrogant, conniving thing that gets us into all sorts of trouble because we think we should be some way or something. The ego really isn't so bad. We kind of have to have an ego in order to balance the unconscious and the conscious. What it is that we have to recognize, and what might be the enemy, is our illusion or delusion of ourselves. Specifically, that we are separate, that we feel alone, that we feel not good enough. But if we're the vehicles for the divine, if God cannot express itself by any means but through our voice and our ears and our touch and our compassion, then what are we doing? Why are we hindering it? If you were a vehicle, what vehicle would you be? Are you going to be a beat-up, what would you be? You'd be a Porsche? What did I tell somebody? I said, I'm kind of a muscle car. I'd be a Shelby Mustang. What would you be, Chris? An animal? What kind of vehicle would we be? Right? Are we going to be like the broken down, trailer? Or are we going to be a beautiful, shining vehicle container that allows in something that feels worthy, that feels worthwhile, right? Because that's what this is. This is a container. And we don't need to apologize for our container. The content of our container is so powerful and so beautiful. And the delusion is, I remember this last Friday, we were studying Emma Curtis Hopkins, I think lesson 8. And it's about like getting rid of the veil, that veil of the delusion or illusion that this material world is something that we cannot change or that we cannot break free from. When the truth is that there's a strength and a power in our word and in our practice. And so I think what we discussed is finding different ways within the week where we could bless. We could bless ourselves when we go to the bathroom. Right, Eileen? We could stand up in the mirror when we're washing our hands and say, I love you. I love you. And look at our body and look at all our curves and look at all our wrinkles and look at all our big feet and say, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to experience this thing called life. Who enjoys their life? Are we really living? Yes. And we must enjoy it, right? We must enjoy it. I don't know, just you being here reminds me, Dr. Pecker being here reminds me of that dream to move to Hawaii, and it happened, right? And it may have seemed far off for a long time, but listening to that inner call and that inner vision, that inner pull, right? Like a physical pull. And listening to that, and look at how happy she is. Look at the smile on her face. And she's still here and still loves us. Yes. And so that's what I just want to invite us to remember to listen, to take a moment and think about, am I apologizing for who I am, for how I'm showing up, for my body, for my mind, for my thoughts, for my actions? Am I apologizing consciously or unconsciously, or am I stepping into the world saying, hello, here I am. Take it or leave it. This is me. I was reading Marianne Williamson's book recently. I think it's one of her older books, and I just want to share something with you. It's a book called Everyday Grace, and it's the chapter on abracadabra. And so I'm going to say this, and then I want to invite you to say it after me, okay? I'll say it first by myself, and we'll close with this. Abracadabra and fiddle-dee-dee, my ego is outraged to see the new me. Abracadabra and hodily-ho, my former neuroses, where did they go? Are you ready? Okay, I'll say it and then you say it. I want you to feel it too, because there is a magic in embodying joy and knowing that in embodying joy, we are really releasing all of that neuroses that we have accumulated by that collective blah. Okay. So abracadabra and fiddle-dee-dee. My ego is outraged to see the new me. Abracadabra and hodily-ho. My former neurosis, where did you go? Do you feel alive? Yes? Empowered? Yes? Okay, no more apologizing, and so it is. Good job, guys.